Most people believe intelligence disappears suddenly. They imagine memory loss, aging, or some dramatic mental decline. But psychology suggests something very different. Intelligence rarely fades all at once. Instead, it declines slowly through small daily habits repeated over time. Your brain is constantly adapting to how you use it. This ability is known as neuroplasticity. It allows you to learn, grow, and improve. But it also works in reverse. If your daily habits encourage distraction, avoidance, and mental shortcuts, your brain begins to adjust in that direction. In simple terms, your brain becomes whatever you train it to be. And today, many common habits are quietly training it the wrong way. Here are 5 normal behaviors that psychologists say can gradually weaken your cognitive ability. Habit 1. Constant consumption of short-form content. Short videos, endless scrolling, and rapid content switching may feel harmless. In fact, they are designed to feel engaging and entertaining. But over time, they begin to rewire your attention system. Your brain gets used to processing information in extremely short bursts. Psychologists refer to this as attention fragmentation. When this happens, your ability to focus on longer, more complex tasks starts to decline. Reading a book feels difficult. Studying becomes exhausting. Even thinking deeply feels uncomfortable. Research in cognitive science shows that constantly switching between small pieces of information weakens working memory and reduces deep processing. As a result, the brain becomes faster at consuming content, but weaker at understanding it deeply. Habit 2. Avoiding mentally difficult tasks. The brain grows stronger through effort. When you solve a difficult problem, learn a new concept, or struggle to understand something complex, your brain forms stronger neural connections. This process is essential for intellectual growth. However, modern habits often encourage the opposite. Instead of thinking through problems, people search for instant answers. Instead of learning something challenging, they choose easy entertainment. Psychologists call this cognitive miserliness, the brain's natural tendency to avoid effort whenever possible. While this saves energy in the short term, it has long-term consequences. When repeated daily, the brain becomes less willing to engage in deep thinking. Over time, complex reasoning starts to feel tiring, and mental endurance decreases significantly. Habit 3. Multitasking. Multitasking is often seen as a valuable skill. Many people believe it improves productivity, but neuroscience shows that the brain cannot truly perform multiple complex tasks at the same time. Instead, it rapidly switches between them. Each switch requires the brain to pause, reorient, and refocus. This process consumes mental energy and reduces accuracy. Studies in cognitive psychology have found that frequent multitaskers perform worse on tasks involving memory, attention control, and problem solving. Even more concerning, they become more easily distracted. Their brains lose the ability to filter irrelevant information effectively. What feels like productivity is actually training the brain to lose focus. Habit 4. Chronic sleep deprivation. Sleep is not simply rest, it is a critical process for brain maintenance. During sleep, the brain clears out metabolic waste that builds up throughout the day. This process is carried out by the glymphatic system. Sleep is also when memories are consolidated and new information is organized. Without enough sleep, these processes are disrupted. The brain struggles to store information, process thoughts, and maintain attention. Research consistently shows that even a few nights of poor sleep can reduce cognitive performance. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation weakens memory, slows reasoning, and reduces overall mental clarity. Habit 5. Letting technology do all the thinking. Technology has made life easier in many ways, but it has also changed how we use our brains. When information is always available on a device, people tend to rely less on their own memory. Psychologists call this cognitive offloading, the act of shifting mental tasks to external tools. Instead of remembering facts, we store them digitally. Instead of thinking deeply, we search instantly. Studies show that when people expect information to be easily accessible later, they are less likely to store it in their own memory. Over time, this reduces the brain's ability to retain and recall information effectively. Convenience increases, but cognitive effort decreases. And with less effort, the brain gradually becomes less efficient. Conclusion: intelligence does not disappear overnight. It is shaped daily by the habits you repeat. Small actions, scrolling endlessly, avoiding effort, multitasking, neglecting sleep, and relying too much on technology may seem harmless in the moment, but over time they quietly influence how your brain functions. The important thing to understand is this: the same system that allows your brain to weaken can also make it stronger. By focusing deeply, embracing challenges, limiting distractions, prioritizing sleep, and actively using your memory, you can can train your brain to perform at a higher level again. Your mind is not fixed. It is always adapting. Final line, impact. You are not losing intelligence. You are training it. The question is, what are you training it to become?